But yeah, man, it's crazy. I was just like feeling like shit, and then you were all like, "We doing podcasts?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. Fuck your podcast, man."
Pretty much. It's all good though. I mean, I was going to record a podcast, but somebody fell asleep. I'm not saying who. I mean, I'm not saying who. He's down there on my screen. But somebody fell asleep. I was like,
pass the fuck out.
Yeah, man. How it went down is on his. Amber came home early, so she came home on that Saturday, and then Sunday night, like in bed, I started feeling like really gassy almost. Only thing I can really describe it to where it's like, when I was sleeping and stuff, I would wake up like with cramps and stuff, and I was like, man, I must have, I don't know. And then that morning,
that's what you get for eating ass.
Yeah, that morning I just started throwing up, and I was like, okay, this is a thing. Let's get this over with. So normally, if you had ate something bad or whatever, or if you were drunk or something like that, you would throw up what you need to, and after you're done throwing up, you feel better. But
Right.
that didn't happen. I didn't feel better afterwards. So that whole next day, I was like, well, it's probably a virus. I probably gotta, it's normally a 24-hour thing. I just feel like shit. And then that kind of passed, right? It was 24 hours. And I'm guessing during that, my immune system must have went down, and I caught what Amber's mom had. So
How you get that, dog?
no, it's the thing.
How you
And
get
then
that?
so
Dog? Now, for real though, how you get that, dog?
I don't know, man.
All of this should be live. I just want you to know that.
But yeah, like, so I went from having a stomach virus to having the worst cold of the summer, or well, that's the worst cold of the year, is having some sort of cold in the summer. But so immediately after that, so I was like, yeah, I'm not wanting to do a podcast. So that whole week I was just like trying to kick that, going, oh, I feel pretty good. Now I don't feel good. Let me check my temperature. Oh, it's 101. Shit. Why can't I kick this shit? And then, just drinking Gatorade and like eating like really light and just like feeling like shit. And then that next weekend, I was feeling pretty good, right? And I tried to go back into work, and I was feeling pretty good. And as soon as I got there, I started feeling like shit. They're like, man, you look pale. You need to go home. I'm like, but I just got here.
But wait, how do people know if you look pale?
Yeah, actually, she said, you look pale. I was like, that's racist.
I mean, I asked the question like, how does anyone know when you look pale? I mean, you're a gamer, so like, it's not like you go outside.
Well, I do.
We got that like the glow from the LCD screens. That's the tan that we get. You know, like.
Well, I do have a naturally olive complexion at the time.
Word, you olive? Are you olive now?
Yep.
That's what we call that.
Yep.
We call that olive.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know olives came in white. I ain't never seen the white olives, like, for real. And why do we call it olive complected? Because like, I've only seen two kinds of olives. I've seen green olives and I've seen black olives, but I ain't never seen no light skinned olives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why.
Maybe kind of a light greenish color. Like,
yeah, like I ain't never seen it. Like, I never seen it.
Maybe it's the color of people where the olives grow.
I guess you could say that, but that's not what you are. But okay,
Right. But anyway, I don't even know what I was fucking saying.
Why is this not live? Like, why are we waiting?
We're live.
We are because it's not on YouTube yet.
It's not.
Nope.
Well, that's some bullshit.
That's some straight bullshit, homie.
It
That's some
says
straight bullshit, homie.
the Scarcasm. I'm on Scarcasm Restream, and it says stop streaming. So I will do a check Rooney.
Yeah, that's some straight bullshit, homie. Hey, cuz. My olive cuz. Grove Street. Repping the Grove.
I am not white. I am a new color. I am off-white.
You're
We are
You're
a
a
new
very-
race.
you're a very
We will prevail.
you're a very light beige. I'm not white. I'm light beige. It's like the red versus blue, where they would just kept saying that he was pink. He was just like, no, I'm light red. What is light red? It's pink. No, I'm light red.
Man, I haven't seen that in forever.
I used to love red versus blue, and then they started like getting like really fucking
You're-
technical using Maya and shit like that, and started doing all of this weird shit. And I was like, I just miss it when y'all was just in Halo. Like, can we
Yeah.
just go back to we just put this in Halo and decided to record some shit?
They're just standing there like on the side of a cliff, like just BSing about whatever, you know.
It was a lot funnier before the Maya and all of the animation and all of that kind of weird shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it in the side chat here, but we are live.
I don't know why it's not coming up for me.
Oh. But,
Maybe it's slow internet.
could
Okay,
be.
there it is. It was okay. There we go. I got it. All right, so y'all ready to get this thing popping?
Yeah, but I won't finish with my shit. But anyway,
no.
I left work and went back home, and then
You tell
that-
stories like my daughter, and it's like,
but it's
bro,
because you keep freaking interrupting me.
no, because I mean, I wanted to know how you ended up with the same thing that her mama had. Like that's the only thing I want to know.
I don't
Like,
know.
Were you kind of like sneaking on moms real quick? Like,
No, I wasn't even there. That's the weird thing.
how? So how you get it then?
Maybe it's because Amber is her heir and it's like airborne. So, are you making a face? Because I didn't have the video up. but yeah, on Monday I was feeling pretty good, and then all of a sudden I just kind of was like laying in bed, kind of looking at my phone, and then the next thing I knew, it was like the next day, and Scar was like, "Are we doing this?" And that was like from last night, and I was like, "I guess not." Damn. So yeah, it's been 3 weeks since we did this shit, man.
Yeah. All right. So all right,
but
you ready
we-
to get back to it?
But we got a surprise, episode from the other crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, have we officially started?
I don't know. Are we, Mister?
I mean, are we doing a rolling start like this? I mean, because we've been talking for quite some time, but I didn't know when the show actually started. So
Maybe it's because we've been out of work for 3 weeks, and it's taking us a little bit to
you
get
need
back
to get
into
your,
our shift.
no. I'm good. Like you need to get your shit together. Like that's
My
we-
shit's been together.
no. You're the reason why we ain't been here for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So obviously it's your shit that's not together. But
but
anyway,
it's not my fault.
all right, we do it. It's a rolling start. Fine, fuck it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm. Chase is in the building,
Yep.
and we have a special guest. Our special guest is Matt. You know what? Tell the people a little bit about yourself because I mean I know you mostly through your wife
Yeah.
because she's been pod fam for a long time, like, and she's been on the podcast in this previous incarnation, with a lot of the girls' night stuff that my ex podcast partner was doing. So like we've known each other forever, like, you know, pod fam and stuff like that. But tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you do, your podcast, and all that other stuff.
Well, I'm the Wormhole in the Wormhole Planet or Planet Wormhole podcast. I got the nickname Wormhole when I worked for the Boeing company, and I used to just like I've got like ADHD, so sometimes I would like space out, and people would just be like, "Oh, he's just been beamed up, or just went through a wormhole," and so I got this nickname, and then it just kind of followed me, and then uh, you know, so it's just kind of the
So
thing that
you got your
caught
nickname
on.
from some
Yeah.
insensitive fucks.
Pretty much.
Well, it was like the thing that started it was we were in a meeting, and I had my feet up on the table, and I was kicked back in this chair, and then the guy that was up there speaking to the whole group in this, it was like a break room that we were in, like where we eat our lunch and stuff. So we're just all kicked back in there during this meeting, and the guy talking, and he says something about you can't just go slipping through some kind of space-time wormhole. And then I about fell out of my chair because I didn't pay attention to the rest of the stuff we were talking about. And then we were like, what? Oh, okay, now we got your attention. We start talking about, you know, space time and wormholes and all that kind of stuff, you know. It's like portals, you know.
Great game. Couldn't play the second one.
The second one was great.
I just couldn't, like, I think I needed okay, so full disclosure.
Was it bleh?
I needed a guide to get through the first game. Like, I really needed a guide because, like, some of the stuff was like really simple, and then like about halfway through, the shit just starts getting like super complex, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? And especially the end, because the end of Portal, like, how the fuck was anybody supposed to figure that shit out on their own? And if you say that you figured that whole thing out on your own, you're full of shit.
I did, but
You're full of shit, dog.
took me a while.
No, you full of shit. That's what it is. You full of shit.
We didn't have internet like when I was playing Portal. I had it on disc on the 360, not connected to any internet.
Come on, bro. Like, there's like I don't. There was no way I could have possibly made it through the end of that game without a guide. Like, not a chance. Because some of that stuff was like, how the fuck was I supposed to figure this out? Like, of course, like I went back and I did the director's commentary thing. And the director's commentary is really fucking dope. I like the director's commentary for Left 4 Dead also.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like all the Valve directors' commentaries were really good.
I mean, I didn't really do the Team Fortress that much because I didn't play very much of Team Fortress. We're talking about the orange box for people who are not in the know. But like the idea of like how you were supposed to learn all of this stuff was like, this was spot on because this is exactly how I figured all of this shit out. But like when you got to the end, it was just like, how was I supposed to know how to do all of this? And like I said, if you say you got through the whole ending part by yourself, man, I'm calling shenanigans from the jump. Like, there's like, with no help, none, zero.
Are you talking about the part with the thing that's going bloop, 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 around?
No, from the moment you hit that last one and you are about to die, and then you get all the way to GLaDOS, like that whole thing. I mean, I guess that's a spoiler, but I guess
I've never played them, but I skipped that generation of games. I was like a prior generation console gamer, and then now I'm playing new stuff and just getting introduced. I just built a custom built gaming PC rig.
Mhm.
Well, you miss like the best generation of games,
For
like
real.
because what I miss and
I've
Rojas is
never
kind
even played on an Xbox.
of
What?
Yeah, I've never played it. Well, I played an Xbox one time, and it was with my kid who brought it over from my ex's house, and like their stepdad has an Xbox, so they brought it over so they could show me what Cuphead was, and because I didn't know what Cuphead was, and so they're like, "We got to show you," and so they brought the Xbox over, hooked it up, and we started playing that, and I was like, "Man, this game is freaking hard."
Yeah, absolutely. I think I skipped. I I went straight from Super Nintendo straight into the tail end of the original PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
I skipped like the 64 and all of that kind of stuff. Like I was,
yeah,
you
I
know,
did too.
yeah. I mean, like
Yeah,
at that time I was fucking like I wasn't really thinking about playing the fucking video games at that time. So like,
yeah, I was
so,
back in the Marine Corps back then. That
yeah.
was
But yeah, yeah. What we've been missing out of this generation is because everybody's so critical on games these days. We're kind of missing the kind of weird B tier games that were in the 360 era that would get made and they would be really fun, but they weren't like triple A really kind of games. But now you don't really get that because if anything comes out that's not freaking perfect, it's gonna completely get shat on and not get sold at all
I
because
think it's
everybody's so on and everybody's so connected.
I think the difference that you're speaking of, it's the there's too much available right now. I think a lot of times during the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 generations, um there wasn't really a whole lot. So like when something weird and kind of quirky kind of came out, that like a lot of people kind of gravitated to it because you could just go to Blockbuster and rent it or something like that. It wasn't in like originally for like the 360 generation until like the end of that generation, the like something new comes out and like everybody on your list is playing it, because we didn't have very many options.
yeah,
Like, but now gaming is so wide open. Like I said, at the end of the 360 generation and the current generation of video games, I've always said there is no better time to be a player of video games. I don't like calling myself a gamer, but there is no better time because like whatever it is you're into, it's available and it's available at your fingertips. You ain't got to go find it. But that's kind of splintered the whole thing about like the new Halo comes out and everybody is playing Halo. The new Call of Duty comes out and everybody is playing Call of Duty. I remember going to the midnight launch for Modern Warfare 2, and the line that I was in at the GameStop was it was the one that I went to was in like like a little shopping center, and there was like five different places. The GameStop was kind of in the middle. The line had completely wrapped around the whole building. Like that's like when I got in the line, I was on the other side of the building. I was on the back side of the building waiting in line trying to get my fucking game. Like so like like everybody was on that. But like um now like the new Call of Duty comes out and like the people who like Call of Duty will get it. But like the people who like something else, the people who play Halo or the people who play Gears or something like that, we've all splintered because there's so much available. You can just play whatever you want. And I don't know if that's like I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's definitely not as good of a thing as it was because something like Halo actually made us a community. Like like everybody playing that one game made us actually start. Halo 2 made us get Xbox Live and have on headsets, and like, you know, that's when the little kids learn they could call us niggers, even though, like, you know, depending on whether we're niggers or not. But it doesn't matter because that little kid thinks Scarfingers and niggers is that little kid's gonna call Scarfinger a nigger. But like, wow, I just went completely off. But like that like those moments are gone. You know what I mean? Like those moments of like this game comes out and everybody is a part of that. Like we all feel it across the community. All of that shit is gone.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it also has to do with that. We are a little older now, so well, I guess like it, since Modern Warfare 2 came out, we're 10 years older than we were then, which is insane. But so the you know, we had more time, and plus like, yeah, we all have the Division 2, but we all have it on different places, and I know people that own PC to play it with, but they're playing when I'm at work or when I'm off. They're got other things to do, or when can I like sit down and play something like Division? Like hardly ever.
yeah. And I mean, luckily for me, I had my cousin who was always on. Um, so like I got to play a lot of Division 2 because I had somebody who was just like, "Yo, you on the game right now?" It was like, "Fine, dog. I wanted to watch some YouTube right now, but I guess, you know, like that type of thing." But in that, you know, like I started playing the game with his friends, and like we built a little community about like our playing the Division with each other. You know, like so like it became a little pocket version of something that we had before.
Right.
And like the fact that everybody is kind of spaced out right now, you don't have that pocket.
And everybody that's like really into multiplayer games right now are mostly playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I still don't get Battle Royale. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It doesn't appeal to me at all. Apex looks cool, but I mean that look cool, but I ain't never gonna play it.
Yeah, I mean, I played with my brother, so it's fine. I mean, it's a good game. It's just not for me, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, all of that stuff started really happening with like the whole Minecraft thing. The whole Minecraft thing, it was just like, why would I play this? Like what? Like for real? No, actually, the whole thing began before Minecraft. It started for me. It started with Little Big Planet because like the moment I asked myself, "What do you mean I got to make my own fun?" I'm out. Like the moment I got to make my own fun, I'm out.
Right.
Like I'm used to, and that's how I had to explain it to my daughter because one time she got pissy with me because she was trying to tell me about something in Minecraft, and I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. She was like, because you're a hater, you don't like Minecraft, and I'm just like, no, that's not what it is. It's like I'm used to like a company making a game for me. I play through the game, and if I enjoy it, I may play it again, or over and over again. In the case of Mass Effect, like you know, like I play the game and I'm done with it. I play it from beginning to end. I'm not the type that's gonna make my own fun. Like I'm that's
Yeah.
not that's not cool to me. Like you know what I mean? Like I guess on some level it's being creative, but like I want the people who make the game to be creative. I don't want to be creative. Like you
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, and I kind of got this idea from Trees from Rojas's podcast
Mm-hmm.
to where,
Shout out to the homie Rojas.
yeah, I was like, Aiden, if I'm gonna play this with you, we're gonna play. It don't have to be hard, so I put it on peaceful, but we're gonna play on survival, so that way at least you know I have a goal to work towards. Okay, I'm going to like get wood today. You know what I mean? But when it's like,
I ain't shit. Like you know I ain't shit. But go ahead.
but when it's on just on creative, I'm like, okay, we built something. Now what? Because everything's available. Like for a while there, I would look up when I was playing with them. I would look up like pixel art stuff, and I would just do that. I was like, okay, I made Mario. What now?
Yeah, and that's, you know what,
Oh,
that was a little big planted thing for me, right? Because here's what I thought. I was like, well, you made a game where y'all created some levels, and then the community is supposed to create the rest of the levels. Well, most people aren't really that creative, and they're just going to create Mario 1-1 again. And that's basically what happened. Like, a lot of people just created Mario 1-1 over and over again. So you had like all of these different versions of Mario 1-1.
And
but
those
like,
ones that like played themselves, which were really impressive that they could do that, but playing it, you're like, okay, I just sit here and then the level just plays itself. I mean, it's cool watching it, but
yeah.
But
well, I mean, that's basically the Sonic effect. Like, can we talk about how terrible Sonic is as a game? Like people who are always excited about Sonic, I was like, who are you? Like, Sonic has always been a terrible game. Like, always been a terrible game. So you mean to tell me you make a platformer, right? And you put all of this stuff in the world, and your whole goal is to run fast enough to bypass all of the shit that's in this world. Why is that a good thing? You know what I mean? Why has that ever been a good thing?
yeah, I didn't really get any of the Sega stuff, so I was like, Sonic never resonated with me.
I had a buddy who had a Sega, and I used to go over there, and I kind of got into Sonic for a little while there, like just sitting there playing, like mindlessly, not thinking about it, just running through the levels and dying and, like starting over. And I'm like, I would just try to see how far I could go.
Yeah, and since you're going so fast, technically it is kind of easier than Mario,
It's I wouldn't call it easier.
It's like a ball. You're just, and it bounces on different, pads that shoot it. It's like pinball. And basically the whole concept is like pinball, bouncing off of things. And
then they made us what they call a Sonic Spinball. They actually made a pinball game.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, so like, and then like those levels that were like those in between levels that were kind of like pinball, like they knew what they were doing. It just never really resonated as a good. It never really resonated as a good game to me. Like I've played quite a few Sonic games. I never really had a Sega console, but like I had family members that had it, and when I'm over there, we're playing games and just doing the thing. Yeah. But like. So I played quite a bit of it, but like none of it was just like, oh, I feel like I need to finish this. Not like a Mario.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like that's, like there's that feeling of accomplishment with certain games. Like specifically, like when you're playing a game and you have this objective and you're like, I'm going to get to the end of this because, that was like for me and all the Resident Evil games, it was like I knew I had an objective, and it was to not die or get eaten by a zombie. And it was
full disclosure. I have never played a Resident Evil game longer than maybe about 15 minutes. Oh, I played the first one, and I rented it. I lasted about 15 minutes. The first time some zombies rolled up, I emptied my clip and they got back up. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I never got into. I got into Silent Hill, but I didn't get into Resident Evil.
You know what I really liked? Because like you shoot them and they don't really get back up. Dino Crisis until
I have that still.
Until I got hit with one of those weird fucked up situations where I got trapped by a dinosaur, but I was in the corner and the camera didn't cover that corner, so I couldn't see what was going on. And I just kept dying. And whenever the game reloaded, I ended up back in that corner. Right. And it was just like, that static camera shit really fucked me up with Dino Crisis.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most of it was the fact that a lot of the quote-unquote good Resident Evil games that people like a lot were on the PS1. there really wasn't really any on the PS2. Really think about it, other than 4, and me and Amber both did not like that game at all. And then
I thought 4 was the GOAT for Resident Evil fans.
not for us.
Now
Like-
the GameCube actually re-released all of the original Resident Evil line of games, and I've got each one of those. And what they do is they take it and that first zombie, like the very first game, the first zombie you run into, normally on the PlayStation version, it would take like 3 bullets to get them down. Well, in the GameCube version, it takes about 10. So,
See, that's like that's team. Fuck it, I'm out. Like, there's nope. I want nothing to do with that shit.
so they
Like,
raised the difficulty level quite a bit on these, and
Yeah,
But
I
then-
did.
but
I
then
did
they-
like 7, and I am liking the Resident Evil 2 remake. Like their like resurgent or whatever have been really good.
but didn't they change the camera so now it's actually a 3D camera
Yeah,
and it's not a static camera? That's why they had to bump the difficulty up, because you can actually see.
right. Because in 7, it's like first person, isn't it? And then the 2 remake is third person. So yeah, no, I can get back into Silent Hill, but yeah, Resident Evil is more action based. I don't think I can do that. Like the static camera.
Is Silent Hill the one where you're at the beginning of the game, you're at the cafe, and then the dog jumps through the window?
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. This is my Silent Hill experience. So, at the time Silent Hill came out, really, I was working at a video store. I mean, of course, we don't have video stores now, but like, for the kiddos, there used to be a place where you had to go to get DVDs and shit like that. You rent them, blah blah blah, whatever. I was working at a video store, and then Silent Hill came out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rent this. So that place closed at midnight. By the time I got home after cleaning up and locking up and just setting all of the stuff you're supposed to, it was about 1:00 in the morning. So it's about 1:00 in the morning, and I was like, man, I ain't doing shit. Let me put on this Silent Hill. That was a fucked up, dumbass mistake. Because, all right, so I'm sitting there and I'm starting the game, and then of course like the loading screens on these fucking old games is just like ridiculously long. So I'm just sitting there and I'm starting to get a little sleepy or whatever. I'm just kind of like, all right, cool. So you go to the little cafe or whatever like that. Man, when that dog jumped through that window, I damn near pissed myself. Like I was like, you know what? Power off. Like I was like, fuck this shit. I can't do it no more. And I have not been back to a Silent Hill game since. I think it's possible that I played a little bit further the next day, but like I was like, nope, it ain't for me. That just scared the shit out of me. I didn't play another scary game until like the original Dead Space. And Dead Space, I mean, I ain't no punk about my shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no punk about my shit. But I would only play Dead Space in daytime with all of the windows and the lights on. Like, I was not about to play Dead Space in the dark. Like, that was not about to happen to me. Not at all.
Uh-huh. Nice. Yeah, I actually played 2 before 1, but 2 is actually has nothing to do. I mean, it's still a town or whatever, but the story actually doesn't link up. It's its own thing. So you can play that before 1 if you wanted to. But I went back and played 1 so I can play 3 because 1 and 3 are direct sequels. But 2 is... I actually just played through 2 again not too long ago through emulation, and to me it still holds up as just a good game.
Didn't they come out with a Silent Hill game that just focuses on one room?
Yeah, but you go through a portal and you end up in the world, so you're
Okay.
you can't actually leave your room. But yeah, that game I never finished because for a while your room was your safe room. You know, you go in there, nothing can hurt you. You can heal up, you can save or whatever. After a while, the shit starts leaking in there, and you have to get candles, and like after a while, you can't save in there no more, or you can't get health in there anymore. And I was like, I must have been doing something wrong. But I was thinking about trying it again at some point through emulation. But
Okay. So Matt, what have you been playing?
Well, since I built this new gaming rig, I well, the story was I built it, and then I've just recently like re-upgraded it to what I originally wanted it to be. And before I had just some other parts that I had put together and threw together and made a gaming rig. And then I tried Apex, but I ended up shooting at one of my other guys or teammates, I guess. And he was like, he started cussing me out over the headphones. So I was like, oh, I'm out of there. So I stopped. I haven't gone back in yet, but uh, I've been playing some Dauntless and
I,
Absolute
I played
Drift.
I played a little bit of Dauntless. I enjoyed it, but like that gameplay loop gets old.
Yeah, where you're just going on the hunt and
Yeah, are y'all gonna add something else to the game? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you first land in Dauntless, like before you fight the first monster, like there's some little monsters to kill, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I got some little monsters to kill, and then like the little monsters never show up again.
yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Go
tried
ahead.
it when it was still like technically in beta, and it run or it ran like super bad performance. But that's probably changed now. And it's actually fully released.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
man. I
I've
mean that.
been no, I one game I got into early when the beta was running was Goat of Duty, and it's the like it's basically just a first person like arena shooter, and you're a goat, and you have this like mechanical arm on you that has all these different weapons that you can obtain, and you run around the level and basically just try to annihilate as many other goats as you can, and you can ram them.
Is this from the Goat Simulator dudes?
It's actually not.
Oh,
It's from I think Razor Games, or Riser, however you want to say it. Um, but they did one of these like Life Tycoon game, I think,
okay.
and several other games. But it's a it just came out on the 10th of this month. They finally released it on Steam, and I've been I've I don't know how many hours I've got in that game just um, during the betas, because they had two separate betas, and one of them was this Foos Row Arena or whatever, and you have to run around and like not fall off the ledges, but like you're like floating in the air, and you have to shoot the other goats and then knock them into one of the targets, which is like a cube that's just sitting out in the open. But you shoot them, they bounce and uh, hit the target, and it's either like a target with spikes on it or whatever, and so the goat is just stuck to it, and it's all wiggling around, and it's really gross, but it's funny.
You know what? They are they I was looking at I'm looking at the Riser Games webpage. I was kind of interested in I love tycoon games. And so I saw someone play the esports life tycoon, and I was like, "Hey, that looks kind of cool." I do own the YouTuber's Life the phone version because I bought it for my daughter and we're on a family plan. Um, but I looked at someone play the esports life tycoon, and I was like, this seems like something that I would play.
Yeah, I'm actually on their Discord server for both Go of Duty and uh, the esports Life Tycoon,
Hmm.
and they're always talking about updates and things like that, and
Word up.
the betas. And
I need to add esports to my Steam wish list.
but yeah, the Go to Duty, like I need to start. I haven't tried playing it with this new PC yet, So I'm kind of hesitant to start it yet. And I've just been like holding out. But in the meantime, I've been playing Absolute Drift and just trying to control my car. And I don't know if you guys are anime heads or not, like I am, but
He is. I'm not.
I loved Initial D, and it's like the
Scar likes anime, but he's more he's very choosy.
Nah, it's like I like certain things. Like I'm not like a I like anime guy. Like no, I like this one. I like that one. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I'm not about to sit there and watch some damn anime, especially if it's not dubbed. It's not for me.
really you liked it like
I,
it dubbed, and it. I think what it does though, it just kind of takes away some of the original, the Japanese like.
but I don't. But see, for me, I don't want to hear that shit. Especially like Dragon Ball, like the subbed version is fucking annoying because like the lady who does Goku's voice is the most annoying person ever. Like I mean for real, like when he's charging up and the character is going I'm like I can't fucking deal with that shit over and over again because they spend so much time like charging up and stuff like that. Like they don't do a whole lot. They just kind of like they spend a whole episode charging up one attack. But like I
Yeah.
can't listen to that shit.
When you did that, Amber looked at me like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. It's like and it's just really fucking annoying. So no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And also, I'm always on my phone. So like the idea that like I can't just pick up my phone because I gotta fucking read the screen. No, thank you. I'm not. I told you I'm not really about that. I'm not really about that anime life.
Anyway,
I
what was
can't
it?
do it.
Was it Tokyo Drift? What were you talking about?
Oh, the Initial D, and that's like that game I've been playing is Absolute Drift, and the car that you get, and it's kind of like an inside joke. Um, the car that you get in it is like an original AE86, which is a Hachiroku or a Toyota Corolla um, 86, and so this car in the show is famous for drifting, and it drifts around these curves, and just the driver is amazing, and it's all about cars, and like the whole series is about modifying and tuning up these cars and going out and racing against the different street car club gangs and all this stuff, and in
And this is a
Tokyo.
game.
Yeah,
I think they made a game for it too, but it was an
my
anime series.
Oh,
my
okay.
one of my old coworkers, he is like super into cars, like super into cars. Like
Yeah.
he has a um he has a Subaru that he had like Chun Li put on the hood. He has like all of these stickers, and then he just got I can't remember what kind of car it is, but he had the Bowsette put all over the car.
Oh wow.
He was really about that life.
Well, here's the
Um,
thing, man.
He talks about the Initial D and all of these racing games and shit all the time. He
Yeah.
actually has his own YouTube page, and he's actually sponsored by some of these companies.
But yeah, I was about to say like, if you're commenting on like a Facebook post and someone's commenting after you, and their profile picture is of a car, they're probably about to say some dumb shit.
Accurate. That is an accurate statement.
How about like I don't know. I'll just stretch it. You got like a monster truck.
Yeah.
Your monster truck avatar.
Yeah.
Now I know the people can't see it, but I'm gonna share a picture. Oh shit! Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But that
Go
absolute
ahead. You can keep talking. We good.
the Absolute Drift game that in the game on the bottom of the car when you roll the car when you're drifting so hard. Man, it is.
It's a pretty cool car. But like I ain't about to put like the thing on the back with the titties and stuff. Like I ain't really about that life. That just be on my car driving around with that shit. Like no, I ain't about me. I ain't trying to have no titties out on my car.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool to look at, but
Yeah, but see, the cool thing is like he has all of these cameras and stuff in his car. So what he does is like he records people like walking up to his car and like admiring his car from afar. Like he really digs that shit. I'm just like, no, I don't want that kind of attention to my car. But then again, I drive a piece of shit car, so like maybe if I had a better car, maybe I want people to be like, "Ooh, that's a cool car." But like, I drive a '98 Corolla. Like, there's nothing cool about my car at all.
really a 9.8. So you don't see if
Yeah.
you had the 8.6, then you would be out
Yeah.
there drifting.
Yeah,
Just like I'm trying to do in this game, and you have to achieve all these little goals and points, and it's a top view.
You got it 12. You got it 12 years too late, man.
yeah. I saw a drifting event here, because I live very near to the big NASCAR track in Richmond. But they had like this little thing set up on the side in like one of the parking lots, and like they were holding a drifting event one day when I just drove past. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I ain't stopped. Like I was still on my way to wherever I was going, but I was like, that's kind of cool that they were having that drifting event like in the parking lot. They had set up the walls and stuff like that, and it was a course. And there was two cars racing against each other. I'm guessing that's a thing in drifting where they just kind of drift together around corners and shit. I mean, the only thing I know about drifting is Need for Speed, like Need for Speed games, like. That's the only thing I really know about drifting.
Yeah. You got to watch like at least first couple episodes of Initial D, and then
Is it dubbed?
Yeah, you can get it dubbed. Yeah,
Initial dubbed.
Initial dubbed.
Initial dubbed.
So you can watch it in English. Yeah, I think I have it on my Plex server. So
okay, that's the show title. Initial dubbed.
Initial dubbed.
Go ahead, you got it. Keep going.
So it's funny though that car, that 86 Corolla, a buddy of mine had that same car, and it was his first car. And one of my first cars was I think it was like a 83 Cavalier or something. Or I think I had like an 82 or 81 Chevette at one point in time.
Wow.
And I had my best car, well, the coolest one was my 74 Beetle that I had. I had a VW Beetle, and it was all stock, but it looked cool.
Yeah, I think my favorite car I've ever had was I had a I can't remember what year it was, but it was an Escort ZX2. I fucking love that thing. I really fucking love that thing. And then like something happened to it, and I was heartbroken.
Yeah, I had to give up my Civic. I ended up getting an 89 Civic hatchback, and I ended up buddy of mine had some rims and tires, some low pro tires for it. And
were they grown folks? What are we talking about? Grown folks right now? You don't know what I'm talking about, or were your rims over 18?
What were they? Now that I'm thinking about it,
I mean, you had low pros, so like they got to be somewhere around there, right?
something like that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back. They were Koenig Monsoon rims that were. I want to say maybe they were 16s. And then I
if you ain't sitting on no grown folks, we can't talk about rims.
Yeah, no, I had some clearance.
Oh, fine.
Clearance.
My first car was a '94 Accord, so it's kind of like the
Not a bad car.
the grandma Civic.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I want a new car so bad, but like shit keeps coming up where I got to spend all my money. So like money that I put aside is just like, nope, not getting a car now. Every time like if something happens, and I'm just kind of like, fuck, I can't get a car.
Right.
I you know what I haven't really been playing a whole lot of games. I have because of this weekend. I spent a little bit of time in the doctor's office in the hospital because my girlfriend has been sick this weekend. So I started playing another Kairosoft game on my phone. I've been playing Magazine Mogul. And it's just like my favorite mobile game, Game Dev Tycoon. It is just like the same game, but you're running a magazine and like you're involved in like local town stuff. And I've been playing the fuck out of that shit lately. I don't know what it is about Kairosoft games. Kairosoft just gets me, bro. They get me.
Mm.
Except for the fact that like all these Kairosoft games, right? When a lot of the stuff I bought it on the phone. Except like I bought Game Dev Tycoon for like $1. You know what I mean? Like like so, and I bought it several times. I bought it on the Android. I bought it on iPhone. I mean, when I had my iPad and stuff like that, or in my iPod Touch. So like most of the time, I spent like $1 on these. But they have these games and they're available on the Switch. Every Switch version of the same ass game is $12 fucking dollars. $12 for something I paid $1 for. And I'm just like, I would love to be able to play Game Dev Tycoon on the Switch. Like I would love nothing more but to play that kind of game on my Switch and be in perfect bliss with my favorite mobile game. But I'm not spending $12 for something that I bought for $1.
Right.
And every time they keep coming out with new shit, it's like, yeah, this was that game that you can get on your phone for $5. Guess what? It's 12, dog.
It's called the Switch tax.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I don't know. Like it's weird that all of those games are $12. Like, can you not go any lower? Like,
just about every game is more expensive on the Switch. Like you'll find like whatever, like Skyrim or Doom. It's always like $10 more than it is anywhere else.
I mean, I noticed that especially for like the Nintendo stuff proper. Like Nintendo stuff doesn't really depreciate. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Mario game could be like 10 years old, but if it's still on the Switch, guess what? That shit is still full price, dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to eBay that shit or Craigslist or fucking Facebook Marketplace that shit from somebody that's just trying to get rid of some shit.
Well, if you are cool with digital on the Switch, Humble Bundle has now teamed up with Nintendo, so you can get.
They ain't got no sales. I looked at it. The Humble is not, the price ain't that different. So like, why would I even do that?
Well, I mean, you might can find sales if they do. Just
if they did like some Switch bundles, I'll be down for that. Like,
yeah,
just
that'd
get
be cool.
Just get a bunch of games. Like, have you noticed that every once in a while they do a PlayStation bundle, but I don't remember them ever doing an Xbox bundle.
Yeah, it is weird.
I'm kind of new to that and checking it out recently, but I just got one of the PlayStation bundles, and it was
they got one now, the indie bundle.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to revisit some of those games, and Yeah,
Layers of Fear is really good.
Killing Floor. It has Killing Floor in it.
Yeah. Killing Floor is good. But yeah, I have played stuff, but more. I mean, during my sick week, I was kind of like off and on, like kind of whenever I would feel like it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I did play a little bit more of Mafia 3, but not too much more because I got into this game called Dusk, And I remember talking to people to be like, you know what, like this 8-bit and 16-bit stuff, it kind of holds up because people kind of like that style. But then your PS1 era, nobody's like saying, I want to make a game look like the PS1. Nobody says that shit until I seen Dusk. But it doesn't really look like PS1, but it's definitely the 3D polygon kind of look, like early 90s first person shooters, and that's pretty much what it is. And it's really freaking fun, because at first I was like looking at screenshots, so I was like, that can't be that fun. And I picked it up on the Steam sale, and dude, is that game fun. Like, the gameplay is super fast, and like it's kind of horror based a little bit because you're killing dudes with like chainsaws and stuff. But at first it's like super easy, and I mean, I did play it on like an easier difficulty, but like just the level designs were easy. But later on, it gets more complex, and you're like finding keys to find another key to open this door, to like all that kind of cool like mid 90s kind of gameplay. And I played through that whole game, and I really enjoyed that game. But and then I was watching my son play. He was like, I want to play Arkham Knight. I was like, you haven't finished Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, but whatever. It's like, and then he was still in the very beginning. And then when I was watching, I was like, you know, all this time, this past 10 years of him being obsessed with like Batman and stuff, like it almost seemed like I don't want anything to do with the Arkham games, until I was like watching him play that, and I was like, I forgot that these games are really freaking good. So I went back and I played and beat Arkham Knight again, and did it the exact same way, to where I 100%ed it, except for the freaking Riddler shit. Cause fuck that shit.
I can't play those games.
Why is that?
I don't like sneaking. I don't like sneaking in games.
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah, but like once they start putting bombs on the gargoyles, I was like, well, I guess I'm done with this.
Yeah, the first one has more sneaky stuff, but like in Arkham Knight, it's more Batmobile like blowing stuff up type gameplay. And then you do go in and you're fighting and stuff, but it's a lot more action based. And well, I mean, I think they got out of that more in the second one. But yeah, there's parts where you can sneak around, but you don't have to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started playing Yakuza 0, and I didn't really play too much of that. I do really want to complete that, but yeah, I had started playing Prototype, and I remember
buying Prototype. I bought Prototype too. I think that shit's still in the plastic, dog.
Yeah, like I got it on like a red box, not a red box, but what's the thing before red box? Gamefly, and
Yeah.
I played through it, and there was some part that made me frustrated, and that was the point. I was like, okay, I'll send it back and get something else. So I never went back to it, and I actually played pretty far this time. And yeah, it looks terrible, but like I always thought the actual idea of that game was really cool, and I thought, man, I wish they held on to this idea and came out with a better game like now. Like, you know, with the same idea, but like with better graphics and better gameplay and all that stuff, because it was a cool idea. It just wasn't really implemented that well. And then I got this boss that was just totally so frustrating that I just like, I'm not doing this right now.
I think it was because really the game bombed because it came out around the same time as the other PlayStation joint. What is
Infamous?
Yeah, and Infamous was so much of a better game
Yeah.
that most people was just like, fuck Prototype.
Yeah, it was, but it also didn't have that idea of that you're a anti-hero symbiote. Like, you know, I wish that idea was in a better game. Because it's really cool.
Yeah, and I like the idea of like, you know, starting off as like a low level superhero and eventually becoming like super fucking powerful, like the whole Crackdown thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the whole Crackdown thing is really cool to me. I mean, I didn't like it when they did it in Saints Row, of course, but I like that whole like, you are a superhero in training, and like like the more you play this game, the more awesome you're going to become, and you're going to do like really cool fucking awesome shit. Like I really dug that shit. And when I played the most recent Crackdown, I enjoyed the same part about it. It felt it felt a lot like one to me. And then like I just kind of stopped playing and never went back.
Right. But yeah, I had a terabyte hard drive that was like a laptop hard drive. So I actually ordered me a little bracket to where I can actually mount it in my case better than just having it just sit in there, you know? Because I was like, I want to use this for big games to where like my other terabyte hard drive, have it to be like whatever I want to play, and then have, because a lot of these newer games are like 100 gigs or at least over 50. So I installed some things I hadn't really tried before because they're just too freaking big, and one of them was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 because it came with a Humble Bundle. And
I was about to say, because like if you bought that shit, like you are the problem, sir.
But I just threw it on the zombies mode, and dude, the zombies mode and that is the freaking real shit, man. That shit is good, and it's a lot better than the old ones. Like for one, they kind of like made it a little bit easier on like a gameplay standpoint to where you have like regenerating health. Like they don't take 10,000 bullets to take down. I got to like level or like wave 17 by myself. I was like, man, this would be super fun if I had some people to do it, and we might actually do all the weird shit, you know, because before I can even get to the weird shit because all the zombies are freaking one-hit kills, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that was really good. Like I was like, man, I wish this game launched with a single player to where people actually wanted to buy it, because I don't know anybody that has this game, and it's a shame because
so as they said they were putting Battle Royale in it, I was just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, because it has the regular Call of Duty Team Deathmatch stuff. It just also has the Battle Royale. It just don't have a traditional.
Yeah, I typically avoid that. I like playing this Call of Duty single player campaigns.
But it's the people's fault, man. Because when I played Black Ops 3, like achievements or trophies or whatever that were like complete chapter 2 were like tagged as ultra rare.
Yeah, you know what, that happened to me. I started playing because I started playing my PlayStation again, and I had to like finish downloading some stuff, so I couldn't play what I wanted to play. But that was already installed, so I played Black Ops 3, and like you said, like just playing through the campaign, it was just like, you know, you completed this chapter. This is rare. Like, what the fuck you mean this is rare? Like, no one played this shit.
Right, because like, so when people were like, I'm not buying this shit, they don't have a single player. I was like, well, you didn't play the single players. They can see that shit. They see that the achievement, nobody's playing it. They can see that whole rarity thing is probably to see what modes people are playing, and they saw that, then they shipped it without a single player, and then you guys are mad. Okay.
Yeah. I did what you did, Scar, with the Resident Evil game, or with the Silent Hill. When I put in Black Ops 3, I started playing the zombie mode, and after like it wasn't even the first wave, I would just set the controller down and I just walked away. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do it because it was too like, I don't know, like shocking and like realistic, just like gunning these zombies.
But you said you've been out of this for a while too, right? You said you've been out of this for a while, so like you weren't prepared for like, see, like, oh, okay, so where you would want to go if you want to play a zombie game, I would say go to like a Left 4 Dead, or go to a Left 4 Dead, or go to a Killing Floor. That's where I would go.
Yeah, I would start with Left 4 Dead because, for one, wait for a Steam sale. You'll buy Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 for like $3, both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, so, and then Killing Floor is like Left 4 Dead, but mixed with other things. But definitely, like Left 4 Dead would be like the starting point.
Left 4 Dead would be like a really dope starting point for you.
And plus,
If you want to play that style of game.
Yeah, and I'd be down for a Left 4 Dead PC night, and because and Scar Left 4 Dead has controller support. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but it has controller support.
I think I have it in my library. It's just not downloaded. I have Left 4 Dead 2.
Everybody that has a Steam account should have Left 4 Dead. There's no excuse.
I have 2. I don't have the first one. I do have 2.
Yeah. And my Steam account is like 4 years old, but I've never really used it. I think my kids had Gary's Mod on there and Minecraft or something, and that was it. And then it wasn't until this year, basically, when I got this PC built up, that I started building up my library a lot better, so I can.
Yeah, a good way is to like do that humble monthly, because for one, you don't have many games, so every game that's on there is probably going to be something you don't have, and then it also. Because there'll be like 2 main games or like 1 main one if it's like a really big one. And then they also throw in these weird indie games that like a lot of them are like really freaking cool, and I would have never even knew about them if it wasn't for that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I every time I think about doing Humble Monthly, I always think about I look at my Steam account and realize how many games I have that I don't play and that I haven't even tried to play. Like I still got didn't you give me Civ?
Yeah, I did.
You gave me Civ. I installed it and everything. I ain't touched it. Blue gave me The Witcher 2 on PC. And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking play The Witcher finally. Nope. Never got around to it. I don't. Well, for the most part, I don't like playing games sitting here. But since my new TV and stuff, because I mean I got a new TV, so I can play my games and stuff like that, and my girl can watch her TV and stuff like that. My TV is right here, and so I have to sit at this chair no matter what. So I might start playing some more PC games, especially because, bruh, let me tell you. Okay, this is a game that no one cares about, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. I have been watching I've been watching kind of 3 new YouTubers, right? And they're playing, 2 of them are playing games that I love, but they have never played the games before, and they are really terrible at it. And every time I watch it, and I can't stop watching how terrible they are at Banished and RimWorld. I can't stop watching how terrible they are at it. And all I do is talk at the screen. And my daughter is always like, why are you yelling at the screen? And I was like, because I told him. I commented on YouTube and I told him that this is what you need to do to fix it. I'm that guy.
I actually did redeem a game that I thought you might have wanted, but I kind of actually wanted to check it out. It was called Surviving Mars.
You know what? But Surviving Mars is also available on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
So we good. I looked at it, and I even watched someone play it, but I fell asleep. I was tired that day. It wasn't the game, it was me.
Well, I heard the game's kind of relaxing, so that it probably was a little bit of the game.
Yeah. So then and then watching this guy play Banished, he said he played Banished a long time ago and just kind of forgot how to play. It is compelling, but also at the same time is super frustrating. Watching someone really fuck up a game that you love.
And then like when you're watching the Saints Row videos.
Yes. Or watching my daughter playing Saints Row, bruh. It's struggle-tastic. Struggle-tastic. Oh, I did watch him. I taught my daughter how to play NBA Live.
Okay.
And she's never really played a game like this before, so she can't really shoot. So that's kind of that. The reason why I put her in Live is because it's a lot easier to play than 2K. but she can't shoot. But like the idea that it took her 3 hours to do something that I can do in less than an hour was like, oh, there is a real like skill that I built up over the years, like that knowledge of how to just navigate through this and just be okay. That she just absolutely doesn't have, and it's not her fault. It's not her fault.
Why haven't they made a basketball game that's first person and then say this is a first person shooter? They wouldn't be wrong.
And you know what? They did do a first person. There's an old game when Microsoft actually published their own sports games. They did do like some first person modes, and like there is a first person in their football game, NFL Fever. It is really fucking difficult because like you only have this limited field of view. So like the idea that like you're gonna try to play a full football game and try to figure out what the fuck's going on was extremely difficult. Like somebody tried it, it didn't work out well. Didn't work out well at all. But I've been playing a lot of NBA Live on my PlayStation. That's part of the reason why I went back to the PlayStation. Why does PlayStation seem like it's really hard for me to say right now? As you know, like is for some reason the word PlayStation just doesn't feel right. Kind of like when you say judicial system, like it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, I mean that's an old Dana Carvey joke, but that like is so true. Like you try to say judicial system, and it just never feels right in the mouth. It just don't feel right. Like just try saying it.
Judicial system.
See, it don't feel right? Like
Yeah.
something about it just don't feel right. Like when you say it,
it's like they're trying to mix a couple words together, and it's like it doesn't like from two different languages.
Right. Like it don't feel right in the mouth. You know what? That could be a show title. I'm gonna keep that down. I'm gonna write that down.
PlayStation, I guess Sony wasn't at E3 this year.
I mean, they didn't need to be. They didn't really have anything really to talk about, so why even be there?
Yeah, and I think they had like an event like 2 or 3 weeks like before that.
But to be honest, did anybody have anything to talk about?
No, not really. Like, I mean, I thought Microsoft did okay, but like,
yeah, I thought Microsoft was the better of them. Bethesda didn't have anything to talk about, and then
EA's was terrible, dog. Like EA's was so bad. Like here's the problem with EA's E3 thing.
They talked for like an hour on like Apex maps and like Battlefield maps. And we're like,
no, man,
really?
like they. But see, here's the thing. Like the worst part about it was like there was no surprises because they had like everything like mapped out. Like during this time we're gonna talk about this. During this time we're gonna talk about that. And there was no surprises. There was nothing for me to get excited about. Like I watched the Star Wars thing. And then I left and went to the store. Like, you know what I mean? I went to the store and came back for the Madden shit. But like, I didn't even feel like I needed to be there for the rest of it. I literally watched Star Wars when Star Wars was open. I put some clothes on. I went to the store and came back just for the Madden. And then I watched a little bit of The Sims because my daughter's into The Sims.
I mean, Square had some stuff to talk about, but like, if you're into that, I mean, I am a little excited for the Final Fantasy remake. I mean, I was never really into it, but watching the gameplay, I was like, this kind of reminds me of it's like Final Fantasy Mass Effect because it's like all real time, but then you can pause and like do powers and stuff. I was like, that's exactly like Mass Effect.
I played about a good hour of the first disc of that was seven was the one with the 4 discs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, around the time when I still worked at that video store, I rented it. I played about an hour of the first disc, and I was just like, "Yeah, this ain't for me." I mean, just JRPGs are just not for me, dog.
Yeah, but I mean, I never really got into JRPGs because of the only thing I saw was Final Fantasy. I never got into it. But then,
but Final Fantasy has some like really fucking dope looking cutscenes though. That shit really makes you want to play the game. Just know, but like the fact that you know that the game don't really look like that, just kind of like, oh, man, come on, dog.
See, I was raised on the original NES version Final Fantasy. Like that was I was immersed in that at my young age. Like just like the cartridge had a battery pack so you could save your game. So it was like
You know what? I did play
retro stuff.
the only one that I ever really played a decent amount of was the one on Super Nintendo with Cecil and them.
I think
There
that's
was
6,
two,
right?
but it was like two, but like it was 6 like overall, but it was like 2 because it was the
Because
second
they
one to come
released
here.
it for the Super Famicom or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
in Japan the numbers are different than they are in the United States.
yeah. So
And then
I only played with the one with Cecil and them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's,
but
that's what I'm
the
calling it. I
remake
don't
looks
even know
good.
which number it is because the numbering system is all fucked up. So I can only say it's the one with Cecil in them.
Right.
Which was the second one that was released here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So technically, it is the second one, and even though there was games in between there, and they re-released those later on, like PlayStation, and I think
Did they ever release the one with Cecil on PlayStation?
I think if they because that one was 4, I think 4 or 5.
All right, I'm gonna look this up. Y'all can keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, it was
But-
2 and 3 that didn't come out in the United States, and then 4 came out as 2. And
so
then,
it might be 4 then.
I think. I don't know. It's been a while.
Well, I was about to look it up, but he's looking it up.
Yeah, I'm
But
looking it
yeah,
up. But
I'll give
I
you a
searched
video.
Final Fantasy 2, and then it says for the Super NES game, see Final Fantasy 4.
Yeah.
So it just straight. This one only came out on the Super Nintendo, according to Wiki.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll send you the video from Square because I'm pretty sure you didn't watch it. But yeah, I think just watch the video, the gameplay video. I think you might see a little bit more of something you might actually want out of this remake than the older one. For one, it's not turn-based, but it does have that pausing kind of like Mass Effect feel to where you're using powers and stuff. So that's got me pretty interested because I kind of want them to do like, BioWare to go back to some of their old games and make them more like Mass Effect. It's like,
Yeah, I keep saying like why they keep going back to like they kept going back to Mass Effect. They kept going back to Dragon Age, and it was just Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and then fucking Anthem, which I mean Anthem, but like I was like, why ain't y'all never do a Jade Empire? Why ain't y'all never do another Jade Empire? Like for
Right.
real. Like it seemed like you put Jade Empire in the Dragon Age engine. Why would that not work?
and it would be something that would like hit home, like how everyone's losing their shit over the new Baldur's Gate. That same shit would happen over Jade Empire, and you know it.
Yeah. Except for like Jade Empire. There's one big flaw there's two big flaws of Jade Empire. One, you pretty much do all your fighting with 2 buttons. 2, I figured out the twist way before it actually happened. Way before it happened. I was just like,
That's because you're a thinking man.
when the twist happened, I was just like, yeah, I saw that.
Mm-mm.
I think the only one that I've actually been surprised, I was surprised at the KOTOR twist. I was, even though it's not BioWare, but I was kind of surprised at the KOTOR 2 twist. I mean, I was
BioWare adjacent, Obsidian.
Yeah. I mean, but KOTOR got spoiled for me. Like I said many times before, the big spoiler happened right before I got there. Someone at work told me I was less than an hour away from that shit happening for me.
Yeah.
And that really sucked. And I think the Mass Effect, the Mass Effect 1 and the Mass Effect 2 twists were significant.
Yeah.
Was there a twist in 3? I don't think there was a twist in 3.
Unless you count the Odina thing.
The what?
The Odina thing.
Not really. I didn't really see that one. I didn't really see that one as a twist.
Well, I mean, it's something that where if you spoiled it for somebody, they'd be like, "What the fuck?" So it's kind of twist-ish.
But you never really liked that dude from the beginning. Like that dude was never likable. He was never somebody that you was gonna care about from the very beginning. Like, Matt, did you ever play the Mass Effect games?
No, I totally missed out on those.
Fix that shit immediately, dog.
Yeah, you got you a gaming PC. They play great on. You can get them like the whole freaking bundle like for pretty cheap on Origin.
Yeah, that's law. Like you got to.
Yeah, I've got Origin installed.
Yeah, it's for the culture, dog. I mean, and they gave away 2.
And they look great. They look great on PC too.
Yeah, Andromeda on PC looks like completely different than the console versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, Mass Effect is like, well, Mass Effect is my favorite game series. So like, I feel like I'm required to say that you should visit these in your regaming journey. And then like,
I'm definitely gonna revisit Apex pretty soon here. I mean, I've already got it installed and everything, so I'm just gonna jump in there again at some
Well, if you
point.
like that, you should play through Titanfall 2. That was a really good single player.
You can play that on PC, right? Because he said you don't play Xbox, you play PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I've got
Okay.
PS4. I mean, actually, talking about analog or not analog, but like retro game systems, I have like one of each, if not 2, of most of the retro game systems. I just acquired my first Dreamcast, which I noticed on your shirt. I see the controller.
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of controllers, and at the bottom it says "Control Freak."
Yeah, so I've got those controllers and everything for the Dreamcast. So I've been collecting those and trying to get my latest collection is the PS3 collection of all the anime, like kind of like the JRPG titles and different fighting games that, like the BlazBlue.
I know. Blue is into stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
Dead
tend
or
to get bored.
Alive.
Blaze Blue is like hard as crap. That's like a fighting game for freaking fighting game people.
Yeah, I love those games. Those are like, I don't know, like one of the first games I got for PlayStation, the PS1, was the Battle Arena Toshinden.
You know what? I played that back in the day.
And it was your first 3D where it would actually spin around with it, unlike Virtual Fighter was kind of 3D back and forth and around. But like you could do like these loops and spins and all kinds of stuff, and it was crazy. But it was like now, if you look at it, it looks all pixelated and
Yeah, it looks super
chunky.
blocky.
Yeah, it is.
My first PlayStation fighting game was Bushido Blade.
Oh yeah.
I miss Bushido Blade, and I miss the first Dynasty Warriors, because the first Dynasty Warrior was a 1-on-1 fighting game before they did all of that kind of weird shit where you're just fighting a million just nobodies.
Yeah, yeah.
But the first one was a 1-on-1 fighting game. My family played the shit out of that. And it was just great. Like I fucking love that shit. So before we wrap this up, you and I have had conversations behind the scenes about vaping, and we were talking about possibly trying to do something on the podcast sphere on vaping. It was an idea from Rob. Shout out to Rob about getting us all together to try to do something about that. But you were saying in the chat that you like make your own juices and stuff like that. Like, how did you even get into that?
I wanted to save money, and when I first looked into what the main ingredients were, I was like, oh, it's going to be super simple because there's only two main ingredients, not counting the nicotine. So you got PG and VG, the propylene glycol and the vegetable glycerin, and then you've got your nicotine, which can be a 50-50 of PG and VG. And then basically after that, it's flavoring. And then I started off with the Loran's flavorings. They're like they're harsh. You use a little bit goes a long way, but you get these little bottles, and it's flavoring, and you mix it in with the PGVG at certain percentages, and there's like a bunch of actual like online calculators so that you can get the right portions, the right ratios of the flavorings and everything.
But when you're messing with the nicotine, you gotta like suit up almost, don't you? Like, cause you get that shit on your fingers.
I don't. I've gotten it on me a bunch of times. The worst it can really do is
give you a massive fucking headache.
Give you a headache if you've ingested too much nicotine, but you don't really ingest it. It's like the stuff I have is an oil. I mean, it's vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol mixed 50-50 in like 1 liter or 100 milliliters of, juice, basically mixture. And then
you buy the PG and VG already with the nicotine.
Yeah, so it's already mixed with that.
Okay, that makes more sense, because if it was like straight nicotine,
and then it takes the calculators take the percentage of PG and VG that's in the nicotine mixture, and it adds that so that you get the right mixture when you add straight PG or straight VG to the mixture, because you got to balance it out, like 70-30, or you got to just set it up so that you match up and come out to however many milliliters you want to make. I usually make 120 milliliter batches, and then I vape on that until it's about gone, and then I whip up some kind of new flavor, and I don't let it steep like you're supposed to. It does make a difference if you let them steep.
I'm famous for, like, soon as I get something, it's just like, all right, it's go time. Like, it's like back in the day, like they would tell you, yeah, you need to like just sit for like a week or so, and I'm like, nah, son, it's on right now.
Yeah, that's how I am. I was like, I couldn't wait. I'm vaping some crazy stuff right now.
What you got in there now? I am vaping God Nectar from Bad Drip.
Sup? Coin Chunk is in Coin Chunk. I think it's Mixer.
Yes. What's up, dog? Yeah, ain't nobody on YouTube.
Nobody's on YouTube. Yeah, I thought the Amber's friend was going to join, but I guess.
Now, this is a little bit of that Thug Juice that I made.
Uh-huh.
It's the remake of the Thug Juice. It has a little bit of the candy watermelon flavoring, so it's a little sweeter. And then I added a little bit more grape just to kind of give it that kind of a pinch of a I'm not sure. I don't want to say like a wine, but it kind of adds to the sweetness a little bit.
Okay.
And then I added less of the WS-23, which is like a vapor, or like a menthol flavoring.
So you basically made Hug Juice.
Yeah, and then just threw a few other flavors on top of it. Just kind of changed the amount for the recipe. But yeah, it's fun to play around with recipes and all that, and yeah, like talking about an idea of talking about vape, just
When you mix up your stuff, how do you do you just make the bottle and then you just shake it?
no, no. I've got a mixer and everything. It's a hand battery operated mixer, and you measure out your different ones in different size vials or beakers, and you just measure out like however many milliliters you need of this flavor, and then I usually stack them. So I'm like, if I need uh, 13 milliliters of this flavor, and then 6 milliliters of this other flavor, and then 3 milliliters of this one, and then zero point 0.6 of another one, then I'll just add those all together as I'm going up in my beaker. I just start at the top and count down each flavoring,
Okay.
including the nicotine, however much, that equates to. And then I mix it all together. I add the right amount of VG and PG, and then I use that hand mixer, mix it really good. I just sit there and mix it forever, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's probably adding oxygen and oxygenating the process and hopefully speeding up the steeping process and all that.
Right.
So yeah, I just
Yeah.
mix the shit out of it.
I looked up a YouTube video, and the guy he would make a batch and he would put it in like a bottle before he moved it into the little bottles. And what he had was like this little clamp, and he put the clamp onto the bottle, made sure it was sealed properly, and then he stuck it in the end of a drill. And then he would just use the drill. It would just spin around real fast to mix it up. I thought that was like, well, I mean, that's one way to do it, like
Yeah.
that type of shit. But I mean, I think it's cool. Like I never really thought about it. I just buy all of my stuff, and like I buy all of my stuff from eJuice Connect now. So like I'm getting name brand juices for like way cheaper. Um, I'm kind of interested in possibly trying to do my own stuff.
Yeah,
It's definitely worth the investment because it's like you save in the long run, just by investing in some flavorings and whatever you think you might like, and then you just kind of like toy with it, and you get a couple recipes that are kind of good, and you try to make one of those, and then you can kind of branch off from there and slightly adjust the recipe, and then eventually totally change it up, and then you have a you know totally weird mixture that you never even thought you'd come up with, and it may be good and may be bad, but it's fun to play around with it.
Yeah, it's all a part of the game, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
There's one that I used to buy when I was at home. There was only this one vape shop that sold this one, and it is basically Jolly Rancher watermelon, and it was super stinking good. But here's the problem with it. It was a 9010 VG, and that thing killed coils. Like it would just destroy coils. And
Uh,
like I'm not like I'm not like Chase. Like I don't build my own, and I don't drip. You know what I'm saying? I use tanks, straight tanks.
yeah.
yeah.
On
That's what
tanks, you really. I mean, 70/30 is like pretty much the perfect.
Yeah,
But
for a tank.
90/10 is just it's too thick for.
Yes, it very much is. But that shit killed coils. But I love that shit. Tastes just like it just tastes like Jolly Rancher watermelon. And then like another one that if I always said that if I started trying to make my own, I would try to figure out how to do a company called Get Wrecked, which eventually got wrecked because they did something stupid. Um, they got sued by Wrigley's because like the dumbasses would make like a pink Starburst flavor and actually put a picture of pink Starburst on the website.
Oh yeah.
So they got sued by Wrigley's, and now
But
they
it's fair use. Her to her to her.
right. But they sold a Black and Mild flavor, and it tastes just like Black and Milds. And I was like, that's fucking cool. Like I would do that, because I got rid of smoking actual Black and Milds a long time ago. But I would love something like that. To try to figure out how to do that shit on my own. So like it may be something that I look into like later on, but I think I might want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's super simple. I mean, if you can make mac and cheese from a box, and you can definitely make e-juice.
That is a statement, sir. If you can make mac and cheese, you can make your own e-juice.
I actually stole that. I got that from. I used to actually make my own beer as well, and these guys that originally started selling these brewing kits, they said if you can make mac and cheese from a box, you can brew beer, and I was like, man. And then I went through the whole process, and I brewed my first batch of beer, and I was like, man, this stuff is really good.
What don't like after you make the beer, like you really got to let that shit sit for a while?
Yeah.
Depends on what it is, right?
It depends on what it is, but usually a lot of them, like the longer they sit, the better, or the more alcohol content it will build up. The longer it sits, just depending on the yeast. Sometimes the yeast kind of levels out because it can't feed anymore on any of the sugars and stuff. So
yeah. But yeah, man. Once we're over here, once we're done with the podcast, man, just totally like get me your Steam and Origin and stuff. Maybe we can find something we could play together.
Yeah.
Because I'm like on PC a lot, and I do miss playing multiplayer stuff, but I just want to have the time,
And you just bought the PlayStation. You said you bought the PlayStation bundle from Humble, so that means you have Killing Floor.
Yeah. Cool.
And that's something I'll always be down for. I'll always be down for Killing Floor.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we can wrap this thing up. Tell the people about your podcast and where to find you.
They can find me at wormholeplanet.com. That's our main hub. And the wormholeplanet.com/media has all the media page, and it's where you can find all the episodes of the podcast, the first season and the second season. We're trying to work on coming up with some new routines for the third season. And then we're on Patreon, and we've got a link tree that's linktr.ee/wormhole planet. You can just Google Wormhole Planet and find our podcast, and we're all on.
We don't have a link tree. Chase, get on the link tree.
What is a link tree?
Link tree is like an Instagram thing. So, but it can link. It's an Instagram thing that links all of your links, like to your podcast, to like Spotify, to iTunes, to Google Play, to your website, to your social media, whether it's Twitter or Instagram. It links all of those on one page. So all you got to do is click on a page, like your Patreon page, click on that, and it takes you right to the Patreon. So it's kind of a cool, useful little link thing, and it's free. So
cool.
Yep. Chase, do that.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like you should do that. Like I haven't been dragging on the fucking Patreon page for the longest time. Like that shit was supposed to be done in February.
Mm-hmm. In 2019, we've been kind of slow. When I look on our YouTube page, it's been since, if you count Extra Life, it's been since Extra Life since we did a game night together. But if you don't count that, since we were in the same room, it's been since before Halloween.
Okay, yeah, we got to do something. So we're gonna get on that sometime, kind of soon. I say kind of soon because I know like we're ramping up. It's almost time for August.
Yeah.
So we got to figure out who we're going to get on. I only know like 2 people I want to get on August. But we got to figure out the rest of it. So yeah, I think we should go ahead and wrap this up. So again, Matt, thank you for coming through, hanging out with your boys. And you know, I know you said that your podcast is kind of inconsistent, but if you ever want one of us on, just let us know.
Okay, definitely.
We'll come hang out with you. Good internet friend for a long time, so that's the homie. And yeah, I think we're done here. I think we did a good job. I don't know what show title I'm going to use. I kind of we went with initial. Originally it was initial dubbed, but I kind of like the "Don't Feel Right in the Mouth." I kind of like "Don't Feel Right in the Mouth." I think we're gonna go with "Don't Feel Right in the Mouth." So until next week, when we actually gonna try to make this shit consistent again because our numbers are suffering because of us. Not really suffering because of us. But until next week, for Matt and the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm, and we're out of here. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Peace.
Later.
I originally I was gonna do the peace thing, but then I remembered that the video ain't work. So like.